All right, welcome back to the KnivesFAST channel, guys. Say hello to Ren and Stimpy and Powder Toast Man, Log TV and Choo Choo, and let's get started with today's video. All right, well, you guys have probably already seen these at some point. These are, I'm at the sort of tail end of a Bestech pass around group, and thank you, Bestech, for sending these along. Very, very cool that you did so, and very glad to be looking at this model. Now, this is a G10 budget version of the Bestech Skirmish in D2 and a more high-end version of the Skirmish in Damascus and Damascus G10 or Gmascus, as you might call it. I moved the boxes because it was messing with my focus. So here we are. So let's start. I tell you what, let's start with the fancy one here. So this is crazy. Everybody has been reacting to this because of sort of the monochrome kind of black and white look in the Damascus blade and the black and white look on the handles and the fact that it's sort of matching. And when you open it, it is pretty stunning, to say the least. Now, on the Skirmish overall, you have contoured G10 scales overlaid over flush liners with, in this case, what looks like a floating G10 backspacer, only touching in those spots, which is pretty stinking cool touch, in my opinion. I like the Bestech pivot, captive, only on one side, silver hardware. Now, what's interesting is we got kind of a satin pivot and screws, and we have this shiny silver pocket clip, which I think is not the choice I would have made. I would have liked to have seen satin on the clip as well. Very typical kind of budget pocket clip. Does go in and out of the pocket pretty well. Is a little bit of a tapper. You could bend that back, but it's definitely got a little bit of tappy tap going on there. It retains fairly well. Does stick up quite a bit, but you do have flat screws. It is built down into the scales, and it is not reversible. Flat screws there you can see, and you got just a tiny little bit, mostly the lanyard area kind of sticking out here, and you do have a lanyard. And this black and white Gmascus is pretty sweet. It's kind of busy. Not necessarily something I would normally pick, but it's definitely cool. It has a really nice texture to it as well. Very cool. Now, when you flick this guy open, by the way, you do have a flipper tab with jimping there. Very nice. Sticks up perfect amount with this cutout that you can just grab it with the corner there. Very easy. It's a light switch. Pops right out. And same thing with the thumb. Pretty good there. And with the hole, I think the thumb is probably the weakest feeling deployment, but it's still not bad. Nice shakedown action there. Is riding on bearings. And we have what they're calling a modified cleaver. I would likely call it just a Wharncliffe, but sure, it's a cleaver. I mean, it really is. What's interesting about this, and we'll go over the specs in a minute. What's interesting about this one is they call this Damascus, okay? And I don't know. I mean, this almost looks like an overlay to me, guys. If you look at it, it looks a lot like the overlay like on a Damasteel kind of thing, because see here, you don't really see the Damascus pattern on the spine or here. So I'm not actually sure this is Damascus. I don't want to call them liars because that's what they say. I'm sure it is some form of Damascus. I'm pretty sure of that, but it's just confusing to me that I don't see a pattern up here. So maybe somebody can explain that to me. You do see some like indentions there in the grind, so it does show that maybe it was kind of a forged piece, but or you know, like irregular. So you know what, it's probably Damascus. I just have never seen Damascus that sort of looks like this. You know what I'm saying? It looks like the underneath part of the blade is clear, not black. And then the overtop is like a white overlay almost. So I don't know. Could just be me looking at it all wrong. But it doesn't matter. It's a beautiful thing. I haven't scuffed it up, and neither have all the other people that have been using it in the pass around group. So it's probably Damascus and just something new to me. So cutting wise, absolutely has held a great edge. I've done quite a bit of cutting. I carried this one a couple of times. I've done quite a bit of cutting, with it, and have not had any issues whatsoever with the cutting performance of this knife. As far as workmanship, it came pretty much dead center there. You can see the lockup is about a 20 to 25, which is fine. No blade play, no lock rock. I would not personally, I mean, again, you can choke up there, but it's pretty tight. So to me, it's more of a sharpening choil, and it gives great edge relief. Again, action is great. Running on bearings. Now, you can kind of feel, wish you could hear it. You can feel the bearings as I move them. You can feel the balls rolling. It doesn't seem to affect the performance. You can see there, not a big deal. Very nice. Now, it is a 4-finger knife. You do absolutely feel that clip right there in my normal spot. Not bad, though, because you can roll your hand around it, and it's not bad. You land right here on this jimping, but you can also come out here on the nice flat spot as well. Now, let's talk about the G10 one, and then we will go over specs and price. You got green and black G10. Very, very nice looking G10. You do have a 154 cm satin finish blade, which I actually think looks great. I'm sorry, did I say it's D2? I knew it was D2. I don't know why I didn't say that. Now, oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about your access to the lock bar is, oh man, I don't know why I'm struggling so bad with the focus, guys. I am very sorry. It's just anytime there's anything back there, it just struggles to focus. And I paid a lot of money for this camera, but it is what it is. There you go. Now we're good. So we got a chamfer there, nice access to the lock bar, no problem. I can slide my thumb straight through, no problem at all. Again, same deal. Actually, this one's off to the show side a little bit, and your lockup is about the same, 25. No lock rock, blade play, no issues there. Very nice. And again, you can choke up on it, and the cutting performance is nearly identical on this one. I carried this one and checked it out as well. So again, love the banding of the G10. Looks really, really good. Tell you what, let's put both of these here, and we're going to talk about them a little bit more. Again, sorry for those focus issues. This is something I work on daily, trying to redo my lighting. I got a brand new light, and it's a little bit better, but then sometimes it's worse. Now, this version here, the fancy skirmish, as I call it, is $130. And I'm looking at it at Knife Center. The specs overall of these guys are 3.23 inch blade. The cutting edge is 3.2. Handle length is 4.46. Overall is 7.87, so just under 8 inches. The blade thickness is 0.137, so almost 0.14, but your grind is tall enough that you get a nice slicey thin blade. As you can see, in either case, there you go. The grind is pretty tall. I like the swedge up here too for cutting relief. That is very, very nice. Handle thickness 0.58, so it's a little thicker. But again, because it trims down back here, it doesn't feel super thick because you can round around it. By the way, it says blade finish on this one is an acid etch, which I think is interesting. So yeah, it's got to be some kind of Damascus. I've just never seen Damascus like that. 4.66 ounces, made in China. Now, again, $130 for that one. And let me go back to the the other one, the G10. I am just having all kinds of issues today. All right, so at Blade HQ, that one is $63, excuse me, and it is in stock with G10 and D2 steel. Again, your specs are identical. Let's see, the weight is 4.6 ounces. So yeah, specs are identical. Everything is the same. It's just got that different price and the different finish. Again, you're kind of paying for this, which I know to be more expensive than plain G10, and you're paying for that Damascus blade. So $63 for this guy with D2, $130 for this guy there. Tell you what, let's just leave this one on and do our comparison since we are running long. There is number 1, the Ontario Rat 1, and the Ontario Rat 2. You can see this guy is kind of sandwiched in between the two, as you can see there. So, very cool, Bestech. Thank you for sending these out. And again, I would love if somebody knows or somebody from Bestech can comment. I would love to know the makeup of this Damascus steel. What the two steels are. I just, it looks different than any other Damascus I've seen, but it definitely slices and definitely holds a very sharp edge from the testing I've done. So very cool, guys. Let me know what you think of both of these. Which would be your preference, or do you like either one of them? I do like the shape overall. I think it's a very interesting design. And there are plenty of different versions of this out there. So check it out. Give me a thumbs up and a comment. And guys, do all the things. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. And I want to say again that I appreciate you all watching the KnivesFAST channel.